Let's get ready to rumble!
Good morning, Panthers. Welcome back to week 2 of the second semester. Congratulations to the New England Patriots for winning last night's Super Bowl. The week is going to start out spring-like again. And I don't think we're going to get any snow days this year. Today will be sunny and in the low to mid 50 degrees. Did you know that on this day in 1935, the game Monopoly was sold for the first time? Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. You don't usually think of the inventor of a squirt gun, but that is what you will be thinking about after today's Science Fact of the Day. Here's Gabby to tell us more.
Thanks, Keith. Panthers. Today's famous African-American scientist holds over 100 patents for many different and varied inventions, but the thing he will most be remembered for is inventing a children's toy. Our scientist today is Lonnie Johnson, and he invented the Super Soaker. This inventor and engineer was born in Alabama in 1949. He earned his master's degree in nuclear engineering from Tuskegee University and went on to work for the U.S. Air Force and the NASA space program. Johnson always knew what he wanted to be, a famous inventor. As a teenager, he began to become more curious about the way things work, and much to the detriment of his family, often he began to find out. He did things like take apart his sister's baby doll to find out what made the eyes close, or tried to cook rocket fuel in his mother's saucepan. He almost burned down the house with that one. He still lived in a segregated South and was told that he would never be anything more than a technician. In high school, his friends nicknamed him the Professor. In 1968, he was the only African American to enter the Junior Engineering Technical Society Fair. He debuted a compressed air-powered robot called the Lines that he had painstakingly built from junkyard scraps over the course of a year. Although the majority of the all-white participants were unhappy with the final result of the competition, he won first prize. This is a remarkable man. Check out this interview with him.
There's this amazing picture of my coworker. It's him reading a Ninja Turtles book lying next to a Super Soaker. When the Super Soaker came out, it was a game changer. The slogan, "Wetter is better," was essentially a mantra for kids during summer break. So when I went to Atlanta to interview the guy responsible for all that, I had to show him the photo.
That's funny.
Lonnie Johnson invented the Super Soaker back in 1982. But that is not his only invention.
Well, I have over 100 patents.
Everything from the Nerf gun to a thermoelectric energy converter. He also worked on NASA's Galileo mission to Jupiter and alongside the U.S. military.
The first Super Soaker actually I made in my shop in my basement in the evenings when I would come home from work. And at the time I was actually working on the stealth bomber program back when it was highly classified. And I actually couldn't even tell my wife what I was working on during the daytime. It was that top secret.
The original name for the Super Soaker was the Drencher.
We ran into a challenge regarding the name because another inventor claimed it. So we changed the name to Super Soaker just to avoid having to deal with that.
Super Soaker is definitely a way better name. When he started, Lonnie wasn't trying to create a toy for kids.
I was working on a new type of heat pump that would use water as a working fluid instead of Freon. And I was experimenting with some nozzles that I machined. And I shot a stream of water across the bathroom, and I thought, geez, maybe I should put this hard science stuff aside and work on something fun like a water gun. It still works.
And this brings me back to a previous point. Lonnie Johnson is a super genius scientist. This is his lab. And this is what he's working on now.
Yeah, right now I'm working on advanced battery technology. My goal is to develop a battery that will store about 3 times the energy of a lithium-ion battery.
In comparison, the Super Soaker might not seem as hard science, but it was still a really, really important invention.
Thanks, Gabby. Now it's time for today's Parkland news. First here are this week's club meetings. On Tuesday, NJHS tutoring, girls leadership, tech crew, and Beauty and the Beast rehearsals. On Wednesday, Civil Air Patrol, girl tech, Gems with Miss Francis, and Beauty and the Beast rehearsals. On Thursday, Gems with Miss Francis, Builders Club, and Beauty and the Beast rehearsals. This isn't a comprehensive list, and we will update you as we find out more. If you want to win the Panther Paw raffle for a McDonald's gift card, put your Panther Paws in the jar at lunch this week. The raffle will happen this Friday. 6th graders, if you want to change schools for next year, get your change of choice forms to the guidance office by this Friday. The Panthers on a Roll party is just a few short weeks away on February 17th. Make sure you don't get any referrals. If you are interested in volleyball, pick up a form outside of 2014 and return them to Mrs. Butler or Mrs. Chung. Volleyball begins February 23rd. Now let's pause for a moment for this message from NJHS.
Wait, you mean I can go to the party?
Yeah, you can do those frowns into A's. What are we waiting for? Let's go.
Okay.
So, what are you having trouble with? It's this test. Okay. So here you tried to use tangent of 6. You should have used 6 cosine 78. Here, try that.
Oh. That makes
Here.
more sense. Thanks.
The SGA is selling carnations for $1.50 at lunches today and Wednesday. You must know the first and last name of the person you are buying them for. Speaking of Valentine's Day, Builders Club is selling Valentine's Day items after school this Thursday. Bring some money and buy something for a loved one. Also this Thursday at 6 p.m. in the Media Center is an interest meeting for all students who are interested in going to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama over spring break. If you have any questions, see Ms. Wingate or Ms. Seo, math team members. Don't forget you have a meet against Key this week. Finally, Fridays is our all-pro parent meeting at 7:20 a.m. You are invited to bring your parent and have a quick breakfast and do an activity with them before the beginning of the day. Now here's Gabby to tell us about the original celebrity president.
Panthers. Some people have labeled current President Donald Trump the celebrity president. This is because of his TV show, The Celebrity Apprentice. But did you know that we actually had a real celebrity president not too long ago? Today is the birthday of Ronald Reagan, our 40th president. Before he was president, he was an actor in Hollywood in 1930s, 40s, and 50s before he became a politician in the 1960s. He was one of the more popular presidents in the modern era and left the White House with an approval rating of 68%, one of the highest for a modern president. Check out this mini bio of Ronald Reagan.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
President Ronald Reagan presided over the end of the Cold War and left an unforgettable legacy. Dutch, as he was known as a boy, came of age in Illinois during the Great Depression. The Reagan family never settled too long in one place. Reagan's father, Jack Reagan, was a shoe salesman with a drinking problem.
I think that Reagan learned to shut out the unpleasantness in life.
By the late 1930s, Reagan found himself in Hollywood, working as an actor.
I hope those gunners can hold him off.
Reagan settled comfortably into Hollywood life. In 1940, he married leading lady Jane Wyman, and they had 2 children. He also became president of the Screen Actors Guild. But by 1948, his marriage unraveled, and Reagan became interested in politics. He also found a new companion.
She could listen to Ronnie talk all night.
Ronald Reagan married actress Nancy Davis in 1952. With wife Nancy, Reagan found his #1 cheerleader and supporter.
They never tired of talking politics.
A group of California businessmen became impressed by the charismatic actor and convinced him to run for governor. Reagan's political popularity was picking up momentum, and by 1980 he landed in the White House. Then, 2 months later, tragedy struck. In a failed assassination attempt, Reagan was shot. Reagan's speedy recovery put him back in the White House, and he easily slipped into a second term as president.
Thank you very much.
By 1987, Reagan signed the landmark nuclear arms treaty with the Soviet Union, officially ending the Cold War.
There is a great bond that draws the American and Soviet peoples together. It is the common dream of peace.
Say happy birthday to these students today.
Happy, happy birthday, happy, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Woohoo, it's your birthday.
Okay, Panthers, week 2 begins, which means we are much closer to summer 2017. As we leave you today, remember these words from President Ronald Reagan. We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. So Panthers, who will you choose to help today? A friend? A parent? A stranger? Think about it.
Enjoy your Monday, and we will see you in the morning.
Bye!